What would you do if someone was on your mind and you had something really important to tell them? What if it has been 40 years? Would you try and find them and take the big next steps, or would you let it go? You have no idea what can happen. Today's story, The 40-Year Leap, Choosing Courage Over Comfort, will rock your world. Welcome to The Art of a Meaningful Life. I am Carmen Davailus and your host. All right, so I am so excited to tell you the story. This is a story about a big leap I took because it's big, because it's been going on for like 40 years. What a big leap, right? In episode number 1, Holding Sacred Space in a Sea of Pink Scrubs, which I believe was a pretty cute title, I talked about a family I got to know while caring for their premature baby boy. The thing is, I never forgot them or what they did for my little 25-year-old self back in 1984. I learned about being present on Christmas Day in 1984 and how it framed the rest of my life. I think of them so often, and I really thought of myself as kind of a good online sleuth, but my searches for them always came up dry. Now, recently, however, I was going through thousands, no exaggeration, thousands of old pictures and came across an album with their photos. I couldn't even tell the story about them on Christmas Day, or worse yet, hear Elvis sing I'll Be Home for Christmas without crying until recently. And well, I really can't listen to Elvis sing that song still, but I can tell you the story without tearing up most days. So when you see that podcast, yeah, you'll see how I did. So yes, back in 1984 and for decades after, I was a nurse and eventually a nurse practitioner. The best way to learn about living a meaningful life is to spend time with people who are facing the most difficult challenges and even death. You'll learn how to live and how to live really well in a hurry. I'm quite certain the 40 years I was a nurse led me to have my top 3 values, which are courage, compassion, and creativity. Certainly, these experiences impact the art I create now. So let's get going. So, why was this experience with this family so profound for me? Well, Randy was my very first primary care neonate, which was a big deal, and a lot of responsibility because that was the first baby I cared for like every day that he was in there. But that's not what I remembered the most or what impacted me the most. We came into each other's lives at a really terribly difficult time and yet a joyful time. While I was working in a place I loved and felt so fulfilled, and they had a new baby boy. It was also like a very lonely and lost time for me, though, and certainly it was a tough time for them. But this family's love for one another was palpable. Randy's mother wore her heart on her sleeve, and I so admired her ability to show her emotions and express herself even as a young 20-year-old. I watched how she loved her family and little Randy. So when you care for a baby and their family like I did, you get to know them really well. It's safe to say I loved them. When I think of that time, I remember how it felt. I remember making sure they had the Christmas gift they so yearned for, which was holding their baby for the very first time. And he was almost 3 weeks old. So I got to witness their joy, and those short 3 minutes that they held him were surreal, as if I witnessed this miracle. And I think I did. I really think I did. It was like not even being in my body anymore. In my darkest times, I remember this and what it feels like. It saves me. Seeing their pictures made me want to look for them again. And again, I went online to try and find them. I put on my internet sleuth hat, truly, and searched by the baby's first and last name to start with. Now he's 40 years old now, so not a baby, just saying. But I found a LinkedIn profile, which I thought maybe was him. This was more than I found in the past, so I went for it. I clicked on the website for his business, and nothing there really seemed to step out for me that made it sure that that was him. Then I looked at some of his coworkers on the website and saw who I believed was his father. I recognized his smile right away and his last name, of course. So then I went on to Facebook, took the trail, went on to Facebook, and still wasn't sure until I found a really old post on his Facebook page wishing him a happy birthday in early December. So I couldn't find anything but an office phone number, which was only kind of a general voicemail. But I found a different number for Randy's father. In truth, his parents are the ones who would remember me anyway. All right, so I've got a phone number. Now it's time to drum up the courage. I was fairly certain I had found them, but was it them? How would they respond to hearing from me? Would they even remember me? And if they did, would they want to remember that time 40 years ago? I have no idea. I had no idea how this was going to go, but I was really driven to make the call. I paced a bit, dried my sweaty palms, sat down with my phone, and counted down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, dial, and drummed up some courage. I kept the photo album in front of me. 40 years is a long time. And perhaps, in retrospect, I should have planned it a bit better because it went something like this. Hello, this is Carmen Davailus. And well, you might not recognize my name, but if December 1984 and neonatal ICU means anything to you, I cared for your baby Randy. If you remember that time, if this is you, I know this sounds kind of crazy, but I just had to tell you how much you all meant to me. And please don't think I'm a weirdo stalker or anything. It's just I have always remembered you with such fondness. Well, if this is you and you want to, can you please call me back? Well, even if it's not you, can you let me know? I've been searching for this family for so long. Okay, so here's my number. Well, I guess you don't need my number because I'm sure it'll show up, with your caller ID, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. Oh my goodness. Well, thanks for listening. I'm really not wacky. It just seems like it. And this just means so much to me. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. So remember my 3 values, those words that guide my decisions. They are courage, compassion, and creativity. I'm not sure I drummed up much creativity for that call, but it was time to draw up some self-compassion because that was really bad. You could probably even hear the tears in my voice. Oh my goodness. So I sat down to tell or confess to my husband how that went and grab for a handful of M&Ms, maybe 2, maybe 3, because you know what? They always make things better. And then I thought, well, let's just wait and see what happens. 10 minutes later, my phone rang and I recognized the number. And then the wheels really started to turn like, how's this going to go? This is what I heard, other than the loud thumping of my heart. Carmen? Yes, I said. Of course we remember you. We still have a Christmas ornament you made us when Randy was in the hospital. You have no idea what this is going to mean to his mom. She is at work, and I know she's going to cry because, of course, we never forgot you. So I'll wait till she's off work to talk with her. But oh my gosh, we never forgot you. Of course, how could we? Oh, I still can't believe this. You have no idea. We talked for about 15 minutes, and I got to tell him, what they mean to me. We emailed and set up a time for his mother to call me. And when she did, so many tears. And a lot of, Carmen, you have no idea what this means to us. No idea. And you know what? They were probably right. I really didn't. I was reminded about things I had forgotten. I was thinking about what they meant to me. I enjoyed hearing about Randy's life. He grew up to be a wonderful man with a family of his own and a career. And, drumming up the courage to talk and to look for them and then to make that call was perhaps the best decision I made in 2024. In fact, we plan to meet up soon in person, and I can't wait for that. We do not live in the same city or in the same state. So I have a few takeaways for you today. Do the hard things, even if you are afraid of the outcome. Remember your courage. Make that call Just say it and show it. Love is a powerful force. His mom told me she thought that Randy survived because when they weren't there to be in the neonatal ICU, I was there to love them for them. And I did love their baby. And she was so happy to be able to tell me this. I would never have known had I had not found them and had the courage. Number two, we all need to be acknowledged. What a gift, and it's free. Not only did I get to tell them how much they mean to me, they got to tell me. And you know what? I won't lie, it felt good. We all need acknowledgement. So just a few words can mean so much. Number three, small acts of kindness can impact another in huge ways. In the last episode of The Art of a Meaningful Life, I talked about the gift I gave them for Christmas and why I was out on a limb to do so. And I had no problems with that. I wanted to. I'm sure there were plenty of other things I did which were smaller and rather insignificant, at least to me, or just my job, right? But meant the world to them. Connections with others don't have to be grand. Like in my case, you might not have any idea, but it still creates a ripple, the start of something really, really powerful and beautiful. There you go. Isn't that a beautiful story? As always, I want to thank you for listening. I look forward to reading your comments about how this story touched you and maybe some of your own stories. Do you have those special memories too? I bet you do. So be sure and subscribe because you have no idea how that helps me. And take care. Until next week. Bye-bye.